Alright guys, so in this video we're gonna go ahead and react to an early look at Silver Palace Closed Beta 1, complete overview and new changes. And the content creator for this video is Kana? I don't know how to say his name. I probably mispronounced his name, I apologize. But yeah, we're gonna check this video out because I am curious to see what's going on in this beta test, right? Curious to see what's happening. I don't have access to it, unfortunately, you know, you know what I'm saying, I don't have access to the beta test. But I want to see how somebody else feels about the game since they're the one playing it. And new changes definitely, all right, new changes definitely turned my head around. I was like, oh shit, new changes. What new changes did they make? Did they change the font? Please tell me they changed the fucking font, because the font is dog shit. I don't care what anybody says. You can hate me, I don't care. The font fucking sucks. But let's cut the yapping, man. Let's get right into it.
It's been roughly 50 hours since I first started Silver Palace, and to say that I've been waiting to play this game is an understatement. Action comic games in general, and even the initial trailers we saw for Silver Palace had me.
Okay, let's go back here.
Game is an understatement. Action comic games in general, and even.
Okay, I don't want to put this in 1.25 times speed. It's too fast. Fuck, they didn't change the fucking font, dude. Oh my gosh, bro. I don't want to make it seem as if I'm bitching or some shit, but like, yo, this font is so booty, bro. I don't know what it is. It's just so bad. It's too plain. It looks like something something I would see in Google Docs. You know what I'm saying? Like, they gotta change the style, bro. The style is just not it, bro. This shit is not it, bro.
The initial trailers we saw for Silver Palace had me extremely excited to test and try this title, but what I experienced when gaining access to this closed beta was something I really never could have imagined. With this, today I'll be breaking down everything you need to know about Silver Palace from someone who's cleared everything the beta has to offer, whether it be the combat, the gacha, the endgame, and everything in between. So without further ado, let's get started. Combat
Let's do it,
in Silver
man.
Palace clearly has more ambition than simply just smashing left click, even if the current beta build doesn't fully show that depth right now. But with this, your current core inputs are pretty limited. Shift is used for parrying or dodging, right click activates a character skill, F is reserved for using a special ability when the enemy is stunned, and Q triggers your ultimate. Now while this does make the combat feel more,
yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bro, it's too surface level, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they might add a little bit more, because I see a lot of stuff going on over here. We got some buffs, probably some debuffs here, but shift, you guys can see right over here, shift, left click, and then ultimate. So I'm pretty sure this is a skill. And then he says something with you being able to, let's go back here real quick.
Shift is used for parrying or dodging, right click activates a character skill, F is reserved for using a special ability when the enemy is stunned, and
yeah, so when the enemy is stunned, you're doing like a finisher. You know what I'm saying? You're doing like a finisher or whatever. Doesn't seem that crazy, bro. And we have like 4 characters here. At first I thought it was gonna be 3, but it's 4. So you can have 4 characters in a party. 4 characters.
Q triggers your ultimate. Now while this does make the combat feel more restricted at the moment, there are signs of a more complex system when you dig deeper. One of the more interesting mechanics is the ability to swap characters off field while allowing them to continue attacking, and this means that you can cancel out of one character's animations, bring another on to continue attacking.
Wait. Oh no, dude. We got the timer, guys. You guys know what that means, bro. Soulless Lord. 2 minutes and 44 seconds. You guys already know what that means. We're about to have some sort of spiral abyss in Silver Palace, bro.
Hacking, and this means that you can cancel out of one character's animations, bring another onto field, and still benefit from the lingering actions from the previous character. This alone may mean that in the future, combat could become more creative or strategic, especially once additional mechanics, bosses, or inputs are introduced. Visually though, the combat does also land very well and satisfyingly. Character animations are consistently,
except for that damn font though. They gotta change that fucking font, bro. I have beef with the font. I have beef with that font, bro. It's fucking trash, man.
very high quality, and attacks feel stylish and unique across the board. That said, combat is also where the game feels the most undercooked, as during my time streaming the beta, not only was the visual performance noticeably inconsistent, with combat scenes hovering around 40 to 60 frames, and only stabilizing whenever I was outside of fights, but even the combat itself felt stuttery and choppy
Ooh, what the fuck? Ooh, this looks bad. Now, this is beta. I understand that, but damn, this looks fucking terrible.
at times, with combos that didn't feel as synergistic, or even an oddly placed lag input.
Look like bro probably play. It looks. Whoa, reset, reset. That was the biggest stutter I had this week. It looks like he's playing on a fucking iPod.
That froze my computer or screen when transitioning.
Bro, talk about iPods. This is off topic, bro. iPods, yo. I remember I used to have one back when I was in elementary school. It was my dad. My dad gave me his iPod. That shit was so trash. When the phone would get so hot, I would put it in the freezer. Those are the good times, man. Good times. Those were the good old days when, kids used to actually go play outside instead of just, sitting on their phones, playing games and on social media or some shit. Back in the days, bro, I would say around like 2000, 2009, 2010. Nigga, we were outside, bro. We were outside playing on Nintendo DS, playing on the playground. I miss those days, man.
From combat in the overworld to then doing something like swapping to its non-combat and more peaceful mode. As for Endgame, it's still very unclear what Silver Palace ultimately wants to do,
This looks
or
fucking
B,
terrible,
we did have
dude.
access to two major modes,
Holy
a
shit, this looks
roguelike
bad.
activity that resembled weekly content, and on the other hand, we also had a tower-style mode where you push through increasingly difficult stages for one-time rewards. Now, in terms of the weekly rogue mode, where you push through
Now, I'm
increasingly difficult
assuming
stages for one-time
this is the pool currency right here. What I'm assuming.
rewards. Now, in terms of the weekly
Now,
rogue mode,
I don't think people have access to the gacha because it's the beta, and I think you have access to every single character. I don't know, because so far nobody has talked about the gacha yet. The only information we have when it comes to the gacha is that I think max pity is 80, and then you do have 50-50. That's all the info we have so far.
this is where case simulation came into play, and this put you into combat simulations set in the real world environments. And unlike the main story, these simulations would take away any NPC interactions and was entirely focused on performing combat, offering a more instant but still technically accessible in the overworld type activity to challenge your roster on a regular basis. However, there was very little certainty in
So it's similar to HSR, it's just that it's not turn based, pretty much.
general around long-term stat goals, build optimization, or how players were expected to engage with endgame progression, as most of the content I'm describing would have been locked behind further progression, and the story ends with chapter 1, with your character level cap being around level 30. Outside of direct combat, the detective style gameplay did stand out very well too, examining environments, gathering evidence, and piecing together theories through
And we examining, boys. We examining.
dialogue felt genuinely well done, and the presentation and pacing of these segments closely resembled that of high-quality detective and simulation-style narrative games, and they provided a strong but very welcome contrast to the more action-focused portions of the experience. Now let's talk about some of the daily and progression systems in general in Silver Palace, which did actually follow pretty familiar structures with a few notable twists. Dailies were very quick and fast overall, though from what
Is that stamina? Ew. I'm playing. Stamina. Hopefully the stamina system isn't too like aggressive in this game to the point where like if you run out of stamina, there's literally nothing for you to do. Because there are some games like that where like perfect example, you guys know exactly which game I'm talking about. If there's no stamina, bro, good luck, bro, because really nothing else for you to do except pick mint. So hopefully that's not the case.
we've seen currently, it does appear as though you'll still need to complete at least one semi-long activity in order to fully cap your daily.
Wait, what the fuck was
So
this? Daily reward chances left 1 out of 1. Wait, what? So I think this is a boss material right here. Right, this is a boss material, 60 stamina. You only get 1 attempt. Please don't tell me. Okay, the fact that it says daily, I think you can do this every day. If this was like a weekly thing, then that's bullshit. Right? You just get 1 attempt per week.
still need to complete at least one semi-long activity in order to fully cap your daily rewards. Each character features a dedicated talent or skill tree that you'll need to level in order to unlock new effects or improve the scaling of said abilities.
Okay, let's take a look at this here. Switches into the battlefield with a flying kick that deals damage. Wait, I think this is part of her kit. Never mind.
But on top of this, characters also have a weapon instead of reactors, of which reactors provide additional stats and effects and need to be manually adjusted before entering combat. Character levels appeared to also cap at level 80, and as expected, there were farming domains or combat encounters designed specifically for farming upgraded materials. And one important distinction here, however, is that pacing-wise, unlike other games where material farming can sometimes be very fast, clearing out some of these domains in Silver Palace took noticeably longer. Now, this felt intentional, likely to encourage players to actually engage with the character kits and combos rather than speedrunning content in the beta, but should this continue to its launch, I would personally find this to be pretty tiresome and unnecessarily long after doing it the first couple of times. Silver Palace also introduced—
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Like that's one of the things. I'll say that's one of the biggest. Like that's one of the biggest downsides when it comes to these live service gacha games. It's the replayability, right? When it comes to the replay value in these games, sometimes the replay value is just complete shit, right? Like somebody like, for example, we look at Wuwa, let's say 2.7. Was it 2.7? I think it was. Yeah, 2.7 when Wuwa 2.7 was dry as fuck. We had like consecutive patches of like no content. I think it was 2.7. I might be wrong. It's been a minute. But when you got nothing going on, right, for consecutive patches, you're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. That's where burnout comes in. A lot of people start to get burned out, and that's when people start leaving the game. They drop the game and they go play something else. So, honestly, do I think that that will happen to Silver Palace? 100%. I think it will because, um, so far what I'm seeing is that you got a stamina system, you got dailies, like everything I'm seeing so far. I've seen it in Wuwa, I've seen it in Genshin, right? All the things I see over here, I see them in Wuwa and Genshin, HSR, and all these other gacha games. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. The replayability in this game, I don't know if it's gonna be shit. I don't know if it's gonna be good. But so far, based off of what I'm hearing, um, you're gonna get bored over time. Right? You're gonna get bored over time. And am I shocked? Not really.
uses some longer term or more general systems that operate outside of traditional combat loops, and this included the real estate and investment system as being particularly interesting as they allow players to invest in properties using stocks and also generate daily income over time. To be honest, this was a slower, more passive form of progression as you did
Not bad. We got Clash of Clans in this game. Bet.
have to wait daily to claim your rewards, but this one was fairly interesting as investing in certain shops did also grant you new purchasable items in said stores. From a presentation standpoint,
I think that's
Silver
cool.
Palace was also pretty consistently impressive. The game looked beautiful across most environments, with especially detailed visuals during rainy scenes, and this meant that you could even see the droplets dry and fall on your clothing, which was pretty crazy, especially during cutscenes. Moving back to presentation as a whole, lore was also even given and delivered through interviews rather than just traditional explanations or blank screens, which I found to be a very creative and effective way of introducing the world and its characters. Character design on that note, however, was another major highlight. Every character looked pretty distinct, expressive, and visually memorable, with
Yeah, I will give them that. Character design in this game so far seems pretty cool. So far.
a strong blend of uniqueness and a real desire, at least from my end, to actually learn more about them. The game also seamlessly mixed high-quality 3D animations with in-game cutscenes, and characters themselves felt extremely animated.
They better put sound effects for this shit. I better hear some audio for this. You guys remember when we reacted to that the beta? Y'all remember that drama? Yeah, that shit was funny, bro. This scene, there was like no audio. It just looks so weird. So I'm pretty sure there is some audio here. Hopefully.
and emotive throughout dialogue and story moments. The voice acting was absolutely fantastic
Deadass, it
too,
looks like
with
she's fucking
performances
him.
that really took narration and scenes above and beyond. But that said, there were occasional glitches where certain voice lines appeared to be missing, but when everything worked out properly, the delivery was amazing. Music was equally strong, adapting well to tense, dangerous, or emotional moments, and reinforcing the game's overall Renaissance-inspired atmosphere. But in general, it was very easy to get immersed in the story, even though the beta really only gave us access to Chapter 1. Cutscenes were well paced and often blended with interactive moments, which definitely also helped keep me invested the whole time. But even from a UI and design point of view, the theme was very appropriate for the sort of title that Silver Palace was looking to fit, and every sound effect or visual effect was extremely solid and well placed, regardless of what its intended feature actually was. On another note, exploration was more of a mixed experience, and in some areas, movement felt slower than expected, but generally
This looks so choppy, bro. I don't know if it's YouTube or I don't know, man. This looks really, really choppy.
your character was fairly fast and fluid while navigating the world. Now, flying and aerial exploration was enjoyable in concept, but the controls admittedly felt clunkier when needing more precise movement. Now, while the lack of a jump button wouldn't normally bother me, it became way more noticeable and annoying here due to how often you were expected to climb buildings and search for hidden rewards. This was also part of the reason
Wait. You can't jump?
were expected to climb buildings and search for hidden rewards. This was also part of the reason why flying and aerial exploration as a whole felt more frustrating too, as there were
Walk, absorb, inspect, dash. You can't jump? I thought you could jump. Huh. That is very weird. You can't jump.
often chests or rewards just out of reach on top of a roof, right over a fence, or on a hidden ledge. And though the game even provided grappling hooks to assist with traversal,
I didn't know about
structures
that.
to reach every single secret chest actually felt
That might be very, very, very annoying.
very uncomfortable or annoying, with this constantly having to find an air vent to then allow us to fly in the air with the Pegasus and then circle around just in order to land. Now, doing this a couple times in general would be fine, but generally speaking, this would be done several times, and all of it just for a small 20 premium currency that we were literally one jump away from should we have had the ability to jump to begin.
Yeah, I don't like that. That sounds very, very annoying. Like, if I'm trying to look for a chest, and then, like, let's say let's say the chest is like somewhere over here. It's like on top of a building or some shit, and all I have to do is jump to get it. I can't jump. I have to get on the fucking Pegasus, fly around just to get that chest. And that chest is gonna give me like what, 5 pulls? I mean, not 5 pulls, but like 5 pull currency. Like, I don't know, 5 primos, whatever. I don't know, man. That seems very, very, very annoying.
Finally, from what we've seen in the beta itself, players currently only have access to 7 characters, and 2 of these were provided through login rewards or by clearing in-game activities. On that note, currency is primarily earned through story progression and quest completion, but the exact amount that we actually receive and what this means for pulling and free-to-play really is an unknown at the moment. At this stage though, there's also no concrete information on pull costs, pity systems, or even how the gacha will ultimately function, as again, we aren't even able to pull.
We already know, bro. There's gonna be 50-50, 80 max pity. It already sounds ass. The max pity being 80, cool, but the 50-50 turns me the fuck off.
For a character to begin with, we're literally just given a preset set of characters. With this though, the beta really doesn't offer any insight into long-term monetization, making this one of the biggest unknowns. But truthfully, from what we've seen even from other betas, this is something that is best left as an explanation from the devs themselves, or something that we'll see in a later or future beta. With this, guys, this game really is the perfect example of a title with great concepts, but really one that still needs more work on execution. To be clear, the game has very defined.
That's a fair take. You know what I'm saying? The game has potential, but they got a lot of work to do. That's a fair take. I agree. I agree as well. They definitely have some work to do. I didn't play the beta, but based off of what I'm seeing so far, they got a lot of work to do for sure. I see the concept. I see what they're trying to do, and I'm definitely going to support them. But I got to take out that 50-50, brother. Take that shit out the game. and then we're doing something here.
Weaknesses or flaws at the moment, but from having tested other titles' betas and really observing what sort of issues the game currently suffers from, I'm way more excited for the game's development, as there are way more strengths that I found to balance out these concerns. Despite this, I am still hoping that the game improves, and this means I'll be suggesting feedback through its survey system for its combat and its movement, especially around scaling buildings, as these again were what I felt performed the weakest among all the features in the game. As a final remark, it is also both impressive and worth mentioning that even before I wanted to add these remarks or criticisms into my survey, said questionnaire already had asked about how players felt regarding the flight, combat, and satisfaction of said systems, so though I will still be anxiously awaiting announcements or for them to address said improvements, I believe Silver Palace is already on a pretty good path development-wise. Thanks again for watching though, guys. I'll see you on.
All right, bro. Nice review. I'm going to give this a thumbs up. Boom, there we go. Make sure you guys go ahead and check out that video. Give it a thumbs up as well. But yeah, so far, based on what I'm seeing so far, not bad. You know what I'm saying? Not bad. I don't like how you can't jump. That's pretty weird. They did say he did say it's like instance based. So like, let's say you're playing HSR, right? You guys know in HSR you can't really jump, and when you're fighting enemies in the open world, you go and attack them, and everything is just isolated, and it's just you and that enemy. So there are some like instance like there are some like instance based stuff going on in this game, but not being able to jump in a game like this is just weird to me. It's very, very weird. So I don't know. Hopefully they do something about that. But yeah, that's all, man. That's all. So we have the damage font number that they need to change. They got to get rid of that shit. They got to put a new one, put a different style. Not being able to jump, pretty weird. You got some frame drops, right? They got to fix that as well. It is beta, but you know, still let them know that got some frame drops. You guys got to fix that. That's pretty much it so far. Oh yeah, and the gameplay depth. That's another complaint as well. So we'll see, man. We'll see when the game launches. We'll see. But so far, all I gotta say is that they got a lot of work to do. That's it. Hope you guys have a good one, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'll be seeing you guys on the next one. Adios.